Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Rabbi.
Rabbi.
We are learning Mishnah Nazir, Parak Beis, Chapter 2, Mishnah Dala, Mishnah 4. Okay. Hareini Nazir. The person declares, I am hereby a Nazir, al minas, on the condition, she'eshaisa yayin matamid lemesim, that I should be able to drink wine or become impure through dead bodies. Got that? I am hereby a Nazir on the condition that this part of Naziris, whether it be drinking wine, whether it be not being able to become impure through dead bodies, that part not.
Mm-hmm.
Says the Mishnah, Harei an Aser, v'Aser bekulan. He is an Aser, and he's an Aser in every aspect of Naziris. What is the reason for this? Now, because we have a rule that when you make a condition, your condition cannot be going against what the Torah says. And if it does, the condition is void.
Yeah.
So in this case, when a person says, Haredi Nazir, I am hereby a Nazir, that is a acceptance of Naziris.
Mm-hmm.
But then he wants to attach a condition. And the condition is that I should still be able to drink wine. That condition goes against the law of the Torah that a Nazir can't drink wine.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm hereby a Nazir. He accepted Naziris, but now I want to make a conditional. I'm being able to drink wine. That's a condition going against what the Torah says, and that condition is void. And if the condition is void, then the first part, then the statement without the condition holds, and therefore he is a full-fledged Nazir. Now, let's say he says, "Yodea ani sheyesh Naziris, v'lo eni yodea shanazir aser b'yayin." In this case, the person says, I know that Naziris exists, and that Naziris forbids cutting your hair, becoming impure through a dead body. But he says, but I didn't know that a Nazir is forbidden to drink wine. And therefore, I never intended to accept Naziris from wine. That's his claim here, right? Mm-hmm. No conditions here. But he's basically saying, I accept the Naziris, but I didn't know, Naziris included wine. Says the Mishnah, Harei ze aser. This person is nevertheless going to be a Nazir, a full-fledged Nazir, is going to be aser to drink wine. Why is that? Because as we had previously, if you say, I am a Nazir from wine, which we also understand from a previous Mishnah, that what the person meant is, I only want to be a Nazir from wine and not from other things. The Mishnah already said, if you accept Naziris regarding one aspect of Naziris, everything, now you become a Nazir for everything. So this person agrees, he accepted Naziris, but he thought that this part wasn't, but drinking wine, let's say, wasn't part of Naziris. Well, says the Mishnah, if you accepted even Naziris for part of it, we already know from before, there's a rule that it applies, that'll take hold for everything. Rabbi Shimon Matir. Rabbi Shimon says no. Rabbi Shimon permits him to drink wine. Because according to Rabbi Shimon, without accepting all the Naziris prohibitions, you don't become a Nazir at all. Mm-hmm. Now, Mishnah, let me read to here from the notes. Nevertheless, Rabbi Shimon agrees that the vow in the first case of the Mishnah is binding, although he stipulated not to keep all of the Nazir restrictions. In that case, when the person declared, I am hereby a Nazir, accepted upon himself a full Naziris, except that he wished to make it subject to a condition. Meaning, the point here is, Reb Shimon in this case, what's the difference, according to Reb Shimon, between the first case of the Mishnah and the second case of the Mishnah? In both cases, you're trying to get yourself out of drinking wine. But the answer is very simple. In the first case, you took upon yourself a full Nazir. You said, I am a Nazir. Just that now you made this, funny condition, but I should be able to drink wine. That's a condition. Rabbi Shimon agrees, a condition that goes against the Torah has no effect. It's void. But in our case, he only wanted to take upon himself Naziris partial. That's what he said. Here's not a condition. Here it's, I thought that this was not part of Naziris, which means he thought that Naziris, which is basically means he's accepting a partial Naziris. Rabbi Shimon says all the time, just accepting a partial Naziris is not going to be a Naziris. And therefore, Rabbi Shimon here permits him to drink the wine. Okay, next case. Now the next case is going to be dealing with the following halacha, something we had previously a long time ago in Nedarim. I'm just going to read to you here from the notes. The Mishna Nazir 3:1 lists 4 kinds of vows that do not take effect because it is clear that the person not really intend for them to take effect. One of them is nidrei einsim, vows of 4 circumstances, which means a vow that a person cannot fulfill. If for some reason a person makes a vow, right, but he can't fulfill it, then that means we know to begin with he wasn't serious. And therefore, it's not a vow. So our Mishnah is going to have an example of that in regard to Naziris. So here we go. Yedea anisha Nazir aser bayayin. The person said he's a Nazir, and he says, I know that a Nazir is forbidden to drink wine. Aval savar hayisi shachachamim matirim li. But I thought that the rabbis, the sages, would permit me to drink the wine. Why? Nation yachal achayis el bayayin. Can't live without wine. Okay, that's how, I guess that means that's how addicted to wine he is. So basically he's saying, when I pick upon myself the Naziris, I know a Nazir can't drink wine, but basically I thought that wouldn't be relevant to me because I cannot go without drinking wine. Or he says, or I thought when I accepted Naziris, and I know that a Nazir is forbidden to become impure from a dead body. But I thought that the rabbis would permit me to come into contact because I bury the dead. That's my parnasa. That's my livelihood. I can't go without that. Which means that basically this person revealed to us that the Naziris that he made, he couldn't keep. Therefore, says the Mishnah, Harei mutter. He is going to be permitted because the Naziris doesn't take hold. It's a nidrei einsin. It's a type of Nazir is also a vow. It's under the circumstances that he cannot fulfill, and therefore it falls under nidrei einsin, which we say he never really intended for it to take effect. Rabbi Shimon prohibits. According to Rabbi Shimon, he is going to be prohibited from drinking. Be prohibited from drinking. He's going to be prohibited from all the prohibitions of a Nazir. Just that, it's important to know. According to Rabbi Shimon, the Mishna of Shimon and the Tanna Kam is the following. We've had before that if there are times where a person could go and get a hataras nadarim, right? You can get an annulment of the vow. That can happen by a Nazir too. According to Reb Shimon, by any case of nidrei einsin, where you made a neder and you weren't able to keep it anyway, you would never have been able to have kept it. Mm-hmm. So Reb Shimon, according to Reb Shimon, look, you have basis to come to a point where you won't have to keep it. But it's not like right away you don't have to keep it. According to Reb Shimon, nidrei einsin take effect. It's just that you can go to a chacham and he's going to be matir for you. But it's not just automatically doesn't take effect. So therefore, Reb Shimon here says that this person who made these, who said that basically I made another of Naziris, which I know it included, but I really couldn't keep it, according to the Tanna Kama, so never takes effect. According to Reb Shimon, it takes effect, and he has to go to a chacham, to a sage, to annul it. And when he annuls it, it'll be annulled. But to say that to begin with, it doesn't even take effect, that Reb Shimon says he disagrees with that. He says that's not true. It does take effect, just needs annulment. And the Bartanura points out that both Reb Shimon's opinions in this Mishnah are not the halacha. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.